Yeah, I can now. Yeah.
So this was like the first question right off the bat. You know what he's talking about?
Yeah.
Butterballs?
Uh, no.
Butter bars. Butter bars.
Butter bars. I don't know what that is.
He said, ask if you enjoyed messing with butter bars as much as I did. That is definitely free.
Drawing a blank on that one.
I don't know either. Hey, man, I'm just here to ask.
Well, get to asking then, son.
Well, that was it.
Are you going to introduce me, or is this how it's going to go the whole time, and you and I are going to fight?
Well, were you smart enough? You got your name underneath your face. That's good enough, right? I don't have to introduce you. You don't even have your actual name on there. So I'm not like, I don't refer to you as, you got too many letters in front of your name now. JMFFWL dot com worldwide.
There's no L.
There is, I can't see
no,
that.
there's no dot. There's no dot. But
there's too many
anyway.
letters. There's too many letters. Are y'all iced in?
Well, hey, change the alphabet then, Todd. Now I want everybody right now that's listening to know that your kids take your phone when you're not around and call your buddies and have these big, long, intellectual text messages where I intentionally spell everything wrong, yet they still know what I'm talking about. And then they'll pick one word that I spelled wrong out of all 100 of them and give me crap about it.
So I went and played ball the other day, and I'm out there playing ball, and I took them because like they go up there and like they do their soccer stuff and basketball stuff, like whatever. So we have pretty cool stuff up here. Once in a while, we get to go to like gyms and stuff. We know people in with places, right?
Yep.
The wrong people in the right places, whatever. So we were up there and we were playing ball, and I look over there and they're both on my phone, which they don't ever like. They're kind of, not saying they're not allowed on, but like they don't really get on it. And they were giggling over there, and all I heard is like, "It's Watson," and I'm like, "Yeah, like don't answer it." Like, and my deal was I'll just call him back when I get done. And they're like, "Oh, we're not. But we're talking to him," and I'm like, "What?" And so they were like, "Yeah, we're messaging him," and I'm like, "Oh, great." And then I like 5 minutes later, I look over there. They haven't stopped. So I was like, I can't believe you're going along with it for this long.
It went on forever. And I'm like, where's your dad? I know
they've never done that. I said, what are y'all doing? And they're like, we're texting James. And I'm like, hey, don't be getting on there. And I was like, well, I mean, it's Watson. It's fine. You can text him, I guess. But I was like, then it kind of started bothering. I'm like, y'all aren't going around like texting my buddies because they kind of know. They know a couple of y'all, and they just think it's all like, oh, you ain't got nothing else to do in the evening time. Just text some little kids on the phone.
Yeah. I ain't got nothing better to do.
Yeah, you don't. Well, this all happens spur of the moment, even today. You called me up, I guess. So y'all are all iced in, right?
Yeah. It's ice apocalypse going on right now.
Well, there were some other guys on here from like, where is it? Corey,
Illinois,
or Kerry? Oklahoma. I'm sorry, Kerry. Yeah, Kerry's in Illinois. Then Rick said it's bad in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting all the rain, but we're not getting. It's only like 38, so we're not going to get any ice. But
dang, it's going to make it hard for me to solicit information for Toledo Bend so I can prepare for the first tournament in 2 days or whatever it is.
When are y'all down here?
Dude, we start day 1, the 30th of January.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Ted.
That's in like 8 days.
Dude, I have not. I went out to my boat for the first time since the week before Thanksgiving, and there's exploded diet or Mountain Dew Zeros and leftover snackage from that said tournament before Thanksgiving in my boat. It was a mess. So I've spent all morning in the ice apocalypse preparing myself for Toledo Bend. So I hope my line don't break.
I did well. So me and Russell had a tournament Saturday of Bass Champs.
Yeah.
And then we had starting like Sunday night, Monday. If it gets ice down here now from the last time that happened 2 or 3 years
Yeah.
ago, which was a bad deal. Like, I mean, they had freaking the windmills, the freaking 1,000-foot tall windmills like iced over and stopped, right? Like we lost electricity for 5 days. It was a
That's
bad
not
deal.
that's not possible, Todd.
Yeah, it was a bad
Our
deal.
administration's got all of our ways to generate
Welfare.
power all figured out for us.
Yeah,
So
they
stop.
learned I think they learned a real good lesson that if you're not gas powered, yeah, and that happens, you will screw over like half of Texas, and
Yes.
so it wasn't a good deal. Well, anyways,
Yeah.
so they were kind of worried about that it was going to do the same thing, and luckily we didn't get as much. We did get some ice on the roads and stuff. I mean, you couldn't drive. We had stuff canceled. But
Yeah.
I got all my stuff inside. Like I've never even come inside before and got all my stuff ready for that tournament. And then I made a video. We talked about, man, our lines and everything froze up to like 9:30, 10. It
Wow.
sucked.
That's terrible. Terrible, Todd. I feel for you, buddy. I do.
Yeah. I don't like all that cold. Like,
I don't
hey,
either.
I know it gets cold up there, but Table Rock doesn't ever freeze over, does it?
Very rarely. I've seen it freeze over. And I'm not talking about like freeze over. You can walk on it, freeze
You're right.
over. But the other day I went to Ferguson in Springdale. This was a week ago today. And I drove over the 86 bridge way up the Kings River, still in Missouri side, and it was froze solid completely from bank to bank. So, but out here in front of my house, you know where I live, right here in the middle of the lake,
Right.
nothing. So,
Yeah, you can't. I figured, but some places, because I mean, I know like the Ozarks did. I mean, it was doing it like
yeah,
the
yeah,
last couple of years in March.
yeah. That was a bad one there. That was a tough tournament.
That was the one
So,
I didn't want to come to because I was like, well, I could go up there, travel all the way up there and break ice, or I could just fish for these spawning fish down here in my home. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going.
good decision.
Yeah,
They're
well, I made good decisions, Watson.
oh, hopefully they're spawning when I get to Toledo Bend the 30th January. Can't
Yeah,
wait.
good luck for that. It was a nice chilly 41. Listen, we don't get much below 50. We
Yeah.
get 48 for it. It was 41 the other morning.
Oh, I bet that people are
But it was
dying.
great because it warmed up to 44.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, you got a lot of people on here, Todd. For you, there's at least six. So
6,000.
6,000. That's
Yeah.
right. I forgot the zeros.
Yeah, you've
So
got all the zeros on there.
yeah, man. There, one old boy on there is asking if that a 203 Charger Elite. I haven't personally got to drive one of those 203 Chargers yet, but I saw one at the Charger tournament, and I saw one at the boat show last weekend. And apparently, that is a hot rod of a boat, little narrower beam than the 210, and it will flat out run with a 250 on it. So
Is that what you're still running the Charger?
yeah, I'm still a
Yeah.
Charger.
Is
I
that
try
going
not
good?
to. Dude, it's going real good. Chargers doing well. They don't produce a lot of boats. They just, they got their own little niche. I wish someday they would just step out there and like build like 200 a year or something like that. But, um, you know, good folks, good people, take great care of me. Ulrich Marine, Kelly Power. Kelly's always taking great care of me and stuff too. So good folks.
It's nice when you got people that take care of you.
It is. It is.
We can
Hashtag
go.
bless on the
Huh?
wall.
Do
Hashtag
what?
on the wall right behind you.
What yeah. What man, like so you told me something I was kind of shocked about. I guess I can bring it up about Black Rifle.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yes. Yeah.
Well, no, I don't know much about it. You told like so
Oh, so Black Rifle Coffee, this, when people talk about anglers changing sponsors and doing this and that, uh it's not always something an angler wants to do. You know what I'm saying? It's a touchy business to be in. You try to stay brand loyal as long as you possibly can and product that you believe in and want to promote and support. But here recently, the last few years, Black Rifle Coffee's been really involved in the fishing and outdoor market, and they have decided. And again, I in no way, shape, or form are going to quit drinking their coffee or anything like that. But they've decided to get out of the outdoor market, with the exception of maybe a couple of Bass Pro affiliated anglers. Not 100% certain of it, but I did get a text message the other day, actually a few months ago, that they were probably going in a different direction. And I think they're putting, believe it or not, putting their money in the UFC. So,
And what's crazy about it's not crazy. I mean, I get it. When you told me that, like you just told me that a couple, 30 minutes ago when you called me up.
yeah,
And I have nothing to do with Black Rifle Coffee. I had Paul on from Black Rifle Coffee. I met him at your house,
yeah,
when I was
yeah,
down there at the Toyota Championship. We
yeah,
just got to hanging out every night, talking a bunch of stuff. And he was real. One, you know, he was so involved in fishing, like he was a fisherman,
yeah.
foremost. And then,
Oh,
and then, God dang
sorry,
it.
dude.
And then and so we got into all kinds of different stuff, and like really, really smart marketing guy. And it was really fun listening to him talk, and learned a whole bunch of stuff. And that's all I really got from it. And I thought when I had him on the podcast, I was like, I just want to have you on there because I found all those things interesting.
Yeah,
And what sucks is when you talk to a guy like that, he was knowledgeable in what's going on.
yeah,
And you finally get a company that pretty much almost everyone respects. They get someone involved in fishing. You like the guys that are involved with it as well, like pushing it that direction. And it had, like I said, I had nothing to do with any of it, but
right.
that's like good. It's good for fishing because like we need more companies that you can get companies in fishing, but in all honesty, if they don't really know what they're doing, and I'm not talking about the fishing side, if they don't really know how to appeal to us and to like
Yeah,
really understand what we're all trying to do,
yeah.
you can see them being gone pretty quickly. But
Oh, yeah. There's a couple of years ago, there's a lot of companies that will dip their toes into the fishing world. Punch Cigars, for example. I love cigars. Punch Cigars got involved in give me a year of title sponsorship for really good money. And I knew that they would probably more or less be a one hit wonder and go on to something else. That's just the nature of the beast, the business we're in. The fishing side of it, the platform is what they want us to, throw that product around and uh, going to, you know, going to support us, and they want us to just talk about their products, and that's a marketing deal. And who knows what's next. I'm going to line up with an excavation company this year. um, I'll be getting that under contract here really soon. They build lakes and ponds out in Indiana and out that way, so I'll do some work with them. So,
uh,
but as far as Black Rifle Coffee goes, I still think they're a great company. They got great product. They got a great mission. They got great people that work for them. And I told Paul this the other day. I said, what sucks the most about them not being involved in the outdoor market or being a sponsor of mine is that I have never felt so much aligned with a company, veteran based and veteran owned company, as I have with Black Rifle Coffee. I've wore their t-shirts every day, their hats and all that stuff. And now I'm like, man, what am I going to wear? I have hardly any clothes to wear now, Todd. I'm just going to fish this year shirtless.
look, it don't matter. You won't be on air anytime, so it won't matter.
What do you mean I'm not going to be on air? Dude, I'm going to get so much airtime, not
Uh,
even going to be funny. Not,
are you?
yeah, yeah,
Oh, so you're
dude,
back in the good graces?
yeah, no,
No.
hell no.
What do you?
What do you mean?
I don't
Todd,
know. I don't know what's going to happen with. Like
Todd, what?
I'm interested. Listen, I will say this. I will say this. But well, before we go into that, when you get it aligned with a company,
Yep.
and and you're not really pushing their product. When I say that, you're just aligned with the company, like the way they run the business, the way they do things.
Yeah.
I've seen so many companies. I've been a part of a company. I've been a part of a company where they were pushing certain products that I was like, this ain't good. And I didn't
Yeah.
ever, and I told them, like, I ain't push. I told them straight up, I'm like, I'm not talking about that. Like, that's not something good.
Yeah.
And it's great when you do have stuff that like you really like it's easy, like
Yeah.
it's not an easy sell. It's just you're proud to be a part of that rather than going, well, I have to be a part of that because they're paying me.
Was
You
that
know,
was that your deal with Lions Den?
mine's den. What?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. I must be missing.
Somebody tell Todd what Lions Den
Yeah,
around
see,
the country.
yeah.
So
Is it some only
no,
fans?
no, uh, no. Lions Den is they're all you just see them on interstates, Todd.
Oh, someone is it this?
Uh, no, it's
Oh,
an adult novelty shop.
oh well,
It's
he said strip, so close enough.
no, not the strip club.
Well,
So.
okay, yeah. Oh, look, y'all are giving it away that y'all know this stuff.
Well,
Look,
you can't
watching.
go down the interstate very far, Todd, without seeing a Lions Den.
I'm over there paying attention to me driving, dude. I'm paying
Oh,
attention.
whatever. I seen you driving. You just drive. Todd drives around, takes his shirt off, and just drives around. Todd does not pull his boat with a shirt on. He just
So
pulls.
tell that. Do you remember where were we?
We were
No
going
one
up to
knows this.
Cumberland. Weren't we going to Cumberland or
I
somewhere?
don't think I was going. I don't think we were going together. Like I think
No,
we just happened to be on the same highway.
you
I
were
think
going
me and
somewhere. Yeah,
Russell were going somewhere. And I said, "Hey man," and of course we always kind of pay attention to passing people or whatever, but we were on the same road,
yeah,
but you were not going to our tournament.
yeah.
I don't believe we were.
I know it was on my way to Cumberland on the FLW tour deal a while back,
Was
and
it?
I'm like, "There's Fat Tad in front of me," and
No,
I
I was
sped up, and
behind
I'm
you.
like, "Hey man,
No, I was
here we go."
behind you. We pulled
Yeah.
up on you and
Oh yeah, yeah.
it was freezing cold outside. I remember it being really, really cold.
It was.
And so I was like, Russell was behind me, and I was like, I had to freaking get on it, get up to you. And and
You
for I
wouldn't
don't
even
know,
look at me.
well, for a couple years, you would always be like, take your shirt off. You know, you're always yelling at me, like doing stupid stuff. So like I'm in the seatbelt trying to get my shirt off, and I was like just gonna drive by you, and with the windows down, it was like 30 outside, and I
Oh
was
yeah.
just drive by, shirt off,
You
windows
didn't even
down.
look. You didn't
Yeah, I
even
didn't
look
even
at
look.
me. Uh-uh.
Yeah,
I looked over. Tad won't even make eye contact with me. He just
no.
keeps on driving. I caught him good in that tournament. Maybe you should do that to me more often.
Yeah, maybe I should.
Remember that one time I caught a bass? Yeah,
It's been a while.
it has been. Oh boy. Oh man, how bass fishing's changed, dude. I mean, tournament fishing. I just don't know where tournament fishing is nowadays. Is that makes I don't even know how to say it, dude.
Oh, I know how it is. I talk about it all the time. I know where it's
Ow.
at.
Uh, you know, I'm going to shift gears, do some stuff different. Uh, I'm not going to sit around here, woe is me, and say, ban live scope and all that crap. And it's just not. Uh, I I'm sitting 61st in the points on the Bass Pro Tour, and if they, after this year, I don't know. I'm going out there. One of your guests just said, Watson, go out there and snap their necks because he don't give a crap. Uh, I really don't give a crap. I want to give a good return to my sponsors, give them some live time. If I get the camera at all, I probably more than likely will be pretty well blackballed and not given much live time or television time. It's just the way it is because I'm kind of an outsider on the tour anymore, and I made my bed. Now I got to lie in it, and that's just the way it's going to be. But the cool thing is, Tad, shooting a television show, a reality television show, starting in the middle of March, and going to let it all hang out.
And I wasn't really getting into this, so I'm gonna get into it one little bit, just so people know. I have seen firsthand that go down with me as well. I've
Yeah,
been on both sides of it. I've been on the better side and the worst side. The worst side wasn't anything of my doing, but all I'm gonna say is when you do start aligning, when you, and we all know this, like tournament anglers don't talk about this. I don't know if anyone's ever said this out loud. If it's very easy, if you're a tournament organization and you're lined up with certain sponsors, whether it be, I don't care what sponsor it is, you name them, whether it's Bass Pro, this boat, that boat, whatever, and they're sponsored by that deal, and they have the option to go after an angler that has more of those sponsors on their shirt and on their boat, as opposed to someone who's not, they're going to go that route every time, which is whatever. That's okay. But but where I got upset about it, where I got really mad about the deal, I don't mind that. If you want to go that route, go that. If y'all are going to do that, I get it. But on the flip side, when we have a meeting, or not even a meeting, when you have a one-on-one with me, and you're asking me for me to pay $5,000, or the entry fee goes up, and there's an $800 entry fee that goes up.
mm-hmm.
And this is what happened to me personally. And I'm like, and the tournament was, I was literally walking off the stage on the top 10 and had a conversation. And the entry fees the next year were going to be $800 more. And it was explained to me at this point in time that we are doing this for camera time. And we're going to have cameras and da-da-da. I'm like, hey, wait a minute. I just fished the top 10 where I was y'all told me the camera was going to be on me most of the day. And at 9:30, y'all left to go follow someone else who was below me who did not catch them. And I'm supposed to pay $800 more next year to get that camera on me? No, thank you. Don't lie to me about it. That's what, man. I was so mad at that tournament that they had the nerve to tell me that. And I was going, hey, look, man, do what y'all want to do, but don't sit here and tell me that you're going to put a camera on me longer. You know what I'm saying?
There is, yes, well said. There is, and again, I'm not poo-pooing bass fishing or tournament fishing. Well, you and I both love tournament fishing. That's what we love to do.
I love tournament fishing more than bass fishing. Like,
Yeah,
I care more about tournaments than just fishing.
Yep, they're very expensive to do, but there is the dream of being a professional bass fisherman that doesn't seem to ever slow down or die out in the world. I had it in the late 80s and early 90s. Juice Newton just said truck driver part. That's pretty good. I had the dream of being a full-time professional bass fisherman because I followed Larry Nixon and Brower and Guido and all them guys. I'm like, I want to do that. And I couldn't afford to make enough money around here fishing tournaments. So I joined the Army and went a different route. And then when I made some money later in life, at the age of 38, I said, let's see if I can't spend some of this money and try to make it in the ranks of professional bass fishing. And I did. That was my dream, and I had the money to go do it. These organizations sell a dream to us anglers of all ages to go out here and be a full-time professional pro, and the ability, or I'm sorry, the spots to do it got smaller. Went from an 80-man field to a 50-man field in the next 2 years. The Bass Elites, Bassmaster Elites, is like a 110-man field. So we were about 190, close to 200. Now we're going to be about 150.
Do you throw NPFL in there now? Because they got full field now, and they got a lot of those guys that are double dipping.
Yep. You can throw the NPFL in there. And what the NPFL did is they saw a need to sell some crack to crackheads like us who want to go and buy some crack which is tournament fishing, and we want to buy a $5,000 kilo instead of a dime bag. That's what it. Tournament organizations have a product that people, as soon as I'm done, if I call it quits tomorrow, there'll be 400 guys ready to take my place, and then they will see the same thing that you know we've been saying here for the last few years. Good luck. Making it on winnings is only for about the top 10% of the field, right?
Hey, I mean, where at? Dude,
Yeah,
hey, listen, I just had y'all are all iced up. Everyone's iced up. Me and Russell just had a tournament this past weekend, made a top 10, got some Skeeter bonus in there. We walked away with $6,400. Now, someone's going to sit there and go, you can't make a living off that. And I'm like, I didn't say I was. All I'm saying is that was a 1 day, 2 day work, right? And I've got a tournament next week. We start practice Thursday, Brandon Belt tournament. They're going to give away, I don't know how much, but first place is going to be close to 60 for us.
that's awesome.
Yeah. And I mean, like, second's going to be like, I don't know what it is, 15 or 20. I mean, it's going to be a lot. The point is that, and then I've got one the next weekend and the next weekend. And then it's Toyota, Texas Team Trail, Bass Champs again, Brandon Belt again. Like, I can just keep going. And someone's like, well, 6,400, whatever. I'm like, yeah, but my entry fee, that's what people don't understand is if you pay $400 and then you win 6,400, that's a net of 6,000.
Yeah.
So if you go try, and it was 1 day of practice, 1 day of the tournament, we stayed at our house on Rayburn.
Yep.
I was back that night. So all we did, I drove up there Friday morning, practiced, came home Saturday night. I had to drive total of 130 miles.
Yeah. Fishing on a lake that you're really familiar with.
Correct. Back home Sunday, I spent the whole time with my kids. So I was going 2 days. $400 entry fee, 1,6,400, and then. But what's the difference between paying 5,000, right,
and winning, and in netting 4,500 maybe?
Net, well, maybe you win 10 grand, but you drove halfway across. I mean, I know what it's like, and you're gone a week, and you look up and you won $3,500, and I'm like, yippee! Now they could have won. If you win the event, I get it. But I will say this: if we'd have won that event with all the incentives and things like that, because that's what we look at, it would have been over 42,000.
Yeah, yeah.
I like, you know what I'm saying?
I get your state's anomaly. That doesn't.
I agree.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
Yeah, we used to have back in the heyday in the '90s, Central Pro-Am. The first place was like 12 to 14,000, and then we had the big dogs, Biffle and Blockett, and a lot of the guys would Hibdens. They would come and fish this, but around here we got 10,000 first place for anglers in action. That in a good year of bass fishing, I tell anglers this all the time: the good year of bass fishing, if you're able to fish for free, just fish for free, that is a good year. Wouldn't you say, Todd? I'm talking, you want enough to make your boat payment, pay your entry fees, pay your gas, and when it's all said and done, you break even for the year. That's a success.
For who? For me or for
Not
most
for you.
people? Okay.
For most people.
If that was for me, I would have lasted 2 years in fishing. I don't even know how it would have lasted 2.
I know that, but I'm talking about normal people who have normal jobs.
Yeah, well, I was about to bring up my fishing partner, but he used to go, I guess that doesn't count, but he would, Brent would be like, man, he's like, man, if I make 15, 20, 30 grand a year, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's just like fun money to like goof around on.
Yeah.
Buy fish and stuff, build shop, whatever. But
Yeah,
I would think it, yeah, I mean, it's hard for me. I don't know any other reality of where I live, though, right? So where I live is the only. I've never experienced anything else when it comes to like fishing tournaments. So
yeah.
like, I actually today I saw Luke. Luke's doing the Alabama Bass Trail, right?
That okay? That's taken off real well. So
Okay,
they're
well,
gonna.
so I don't know. So I saw Luke, and I know that they were down there fishing that, and I bring up the Alabama Bass Trail at times because I just assume they're a lot like some of our events. And so I went down there and I looked at the results. I couldn't find the results online. And then because I kind of wanted to see, I've never really looked to see what the entry fees are and what the payback was, and like what guys win if they win and stuff like that. So I couldn't find the results.
Yeah, that,
Maybe someone on here will tell me. I'm
about
not saying I looked extremely
three,
hard, but
three up on the thing says, how are all these pros surviving the circuits with the exception of the few who win and have a name in the industry? I about 10% of our 80-man field made more money in winnings than they did in entry fees last year. 10%. That's 8 guys. All right. I looked down about 13th place in angler of the years. Angler year made about 80 grand. And promise you, the normal spend out there on the Bass Pro Tour is about 60 grand. So if you won 80, you made $20,000 in profit. The way, and I knew this about bass fishing a long time ago. The way to make money in the bass fishing world is to pick up sponsors and negotiate your best deal as possible to market with these companies. Um, the That's how I've always made my living is marketing and sponsor dollars. And the first 3 years, I funded myself, and I could afford to do it. And then the fourth year, I was like fishing for free, and then like the fifth year, I started making money from sponsors. Anything that I would uh, anything that I'd make in tournament winnings after my fifth year, that's just like bonus money to me. So uh, that's the way
and,
I just looked at fishing as a business.
and
So
fish and so the fishing. So I'm the opposite. That I get little sponsor money. I make 75. I don't know whatever. I mean, my Strike King thing is kind of different because I work
yeah,
for him. But as in other sponsors, almost, I don't really get hardly anything for the most part. So like it's all comes down to like winning tournaments,
yeah,
or not winning tournaments, just making money in tournaments. And if I got sponsor money, it's bonus.
absolutely. But again, you're one of those. You're a 10%er or more like a 5%.
I wish I got more sponsor money. I
I
just
understand
don't
that.
I don't understand.
I understand that. That's your you're going to make it on winnings. There's a lot of anglers going to make it on winnings.
Yeah,
Chase
but I mean,
Dudley,
the other
for
would
real.
be nice. Me and Ish. I had a conversation with Ish about something. I'll bring it up to you one day.
Yeah,
It was a couple of weeks ago, and
yeah,
we had a little talk. He told me everything what I was doing was dead on right, but and then I told him what happened, and he kind of was like, "Yeah." He goes, "I see that a little bit." Um, he saw my frustration with something that was said somewhere along the way, and he goes, "Yeah, that's kind of weird." I'll have to explain it. I don't want to talk about it too much, but I'll say this: I've been around fishing, and I've seen some guys from my area, and the hardest part, and I don't know. So this is this is the only thing I could come up with is that we were winning a lot and doing really good when I was pretty not young, but when I first got to Rayburn.
yeah,
And I always just kind of felt like it was me against the world type deal, you know. And I was like, man, okay, no, I'm never gonna get any help, so forget everybody. I'm just gonna like do my own thing. And I kind of took that attitude, not like I was against anyone. I'm just saying like I can't nothing's falling. I can't get anything to fall in my lap, right? Sponsor wise or anything.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put my head down and fish and just and just and just
Yeah.
everything will come good if I just fish. Well, and it has. It's
Yeah.
fine. But I saw so many guys from around this area would get these sponsor deals, and some of them were huge,
Yeah.
huge,
Yeah.
huge. And I'm sitting here going, they've never even won a tournament.
Yeah.
And when I would talk to them, they'd just be like, "Yeah, I knew this guy. Man, he knows how much I really love to fish,
Yeah.
and he just wanted to help me out, and he's going to pay my way for the tour." And I'm like, "What?" And,
Well,
and
that
so I almost felt like, man, maybe if I hadn't have done good, that might have happened. But they're like, "Oh, Todd's making it. He's making checks. He doesn't need any help." I
no,
don't know.
no.
I don't get it.
It's all different. It's different from everybody. And again, my business plan's different than yours. You can make it in the fishing world on checks. Brian Thrift can make it on checks. Dakota Eber can make it on checks. I could never make it on checks. Now, can I maintain my status in the pro fishing ranks? Well, I can until probably this year, and then I'm going to get kicked out. And then what? There's two ways to make a business. There's multiple ways to make a business, and I've been able to make a business out of the bass fishing world. Uh, if people if people want to pay me so I can tell them how to do it, I'll do that. But but making it day in and day out, Todd Castledine's going to kick the shit out of me fishing day in and day out. I already know that. But when it comes to talking trash, well, you're pretty good at that too. But when it comes to networking and
You're one of the
promoting,
best.
doing things like that, I'm good at it. Uh, and I'm super good looking, unlike you, which
That's
helps
true.
big,
Yeah,
which helps big time.
it
Is
does.
and I'm physically fit, and people like me, so I think they should throw daisies at me and start a GoFundMe page so I can pay all my legal fees that MLF's going to bomb on me this year. So, whole nother
I,
monster.
I'm really so when when I'm trying to move on. when so when we were last on, me, you, and Ish, and we got a bunch of complaints because people didn't like us talking over each other, which
Imagine that.
yeah, big like we cared. Um, what was funny was like all that stuff was going down with them,
Yeah.
and everything was getting cut down to 50, and then da, 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 and like usual, it just freaking does this, right?
Yeah.
Whichever way the wind blows, they're gonna go with it. And next thing I know, I heard, that they moved it back up to more people, and now that whatever. At some point in time, like it was kind of hot topics, but it was like
Yeah.
after we did that video and after they moved it to whatever they've done since then, I have not heard a single peep out of anyone. Like everyone stopped caring. Like whatever y'all do is great. Like no one even cares anymore. But I really don't know what's going on. So I really wanted to ask you what I'm being honest. I have no clue. Did they,
I got a $10,000 fine.
well, I know that.
Yeah. Uh, for
Telling the truth.
for saying things on your podcast that
Not
offended
my podcast.
you and your podcast and Luke Duncan's, mostly
No,
Luke.
it was Luke's.
No, trust me, when I got my fine, it said Luke Duncan and Todd Castledine's podcast. Yeah, go ahead, take credit if you'd like. I don't care.
I didn't
But
want to take credit. I thought it was all Luke's.
no, you go ahead, take some credit for it. But anyway, I got fined for that. So I got to watch what I say and do. You know,
I'm asking what did they do? Like it was cut down to 50. The plan was 50. I'm literally asking. I heard they moved it back up, right?
yes, to 66.
Okay. That's all I was at. I didn't know.
66, not 65.
What's the difference between that one?
Uh, well, Bobby Lane came back into the fold,
Okay.
so there's points, and there's things that were there's things that were done inside of our rules and points situation, and the 66 spot is the one person that would be affected is no longer affected. So they went from a 65-man field to a 66-man field. That's all I can say about that, Todd.
No, that's
You go
fine.
figure.
That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah, yeah. But people think that 66 was for Boyd. No, Boyd and a handful of other guys got, they more or less, there's not a legends exemption either, people. You notice how a few years ago, Shaw, Paul, Mike McClellan all lost their spots?
Yeah.
Okay. This last season was no different. People were going to lose their spots. They were going to have to go back and fish through the BFLs to the Toyotas to the Invitationals. Oh, no, I'm wrong. You get to go to the Invitationals. You don't have to start all the way back at the BFLs to work your way up. They had to go back to the Invitationals. Well, this last year, I'm trying to say this correctly. This last year, we didn't lose anybody because of all the guys that decided to go fish other tournament trails.
You
So
lost
the guys
Dakota.
the guys that were losing their jobs.
So Dakota isn't. Oh, you're not qualifying Dakota as a loss. You're qualifying him as a guy who left.
Well,
Or is he different?
No, guys. Yeah, guys that left on their own, like Dakota, Tharp, Cody Meyer. Every one of those guys that were qualified well within the point system that left,
yeah,
allowed somebody that was going to get kicked out back in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so by them guys leaving, they saved a bunch of guys that were going to lose their job, per se, on the Bass Pro Tour.
Right.
Now get to keep their job. Okay, now they still have their Angler of the Year points, the cumulative points, throughout the Angler of the Year status they got to go on. For example, right now I'm sitting 61st in Angler of the Year.
So did that change where you moved from? Like,
no.
So you were always going to fish this year, anyways. You were already qualified. It was
Yeah,
more or less.
I did not get on the chopping block.
Did them moving up those numbers help you, give you a better chance of staying on the year after that?
I don't think so. There's weird math that I don't know how to do, and I consider myself a halfway smart guy. So I don't know what I have to do, and Mike, I know you're joking. Clay Williamson, who likes to smoke a lot of weed, asked if Jacopolo Galolu got in the pro circuit points. Yes, he did, because Dakota declared himself out, which let the next person in the invitationals in.
Only because everyone else from the BPT who was already in had already made their decision on whether to leave or not. Yeah, that's why it didn't. If there was one other person that wasn't back in, they would have probably given it to him. Not going down the list.
Yes. Let me ask the fans right now, who is next in line after Jacopo on the invitational list? No, I'm not going to turn my Cordell Giles. I'm not turning my phone sideways, you pervert. So
I knew that was coming. I
had to.
I knew you'd be like, no, I don't want to do it.
Nope, I ain't doing it. But Somebody tell me, John Cox.
Is it? Is
John
that?
Cox was Fort Clay. Are you serious? John Cox was Fort the next after Jacopo.
Be careful. You never know, but could probably
Okay,
because I don't know. It's too.
okay. Well, the reason I'm asking is maybe if I come on, somebody out there, just take a freaking second and look.
That's such a good comment. No, that's social media points.
That's funny. Who's after Jacopo? Kyle Weisenberger. Okay, I
You
need.
don't know. I wouldn't say anything. Who knows?
Okay,
Until a bunch
okay,
of people say the same name.
if
That,
Kyle Weisenberger is the next after Jacopo, I need to call Kyle and say, Kyle, how much will you pay me to quit bass fishing so that you can be in the Bass Pro Tour? Now, that to me would be a good business decision. So, Kyle, if you're listening, somebody tag and bag Kyle. Kyle, you reach out to me. tell me how much you're willing to pay me to quit so that you can be on tour.
it's like buying a jersey.
Yeah. Yeah.
A jersey net.
Okay, Kyle. It's Kyle then. Yep. Okay. I think I met Kyle before. He's a good dude.
There
Kristen
was
Moorhead's next.
there was something.
Geoff Tuck. Geoff. Spell your name right, Jeff. Geoff. That's ridiculous. Your mom and dad probably didn't slap you enough growing up. So
You're gonna get fined.
Scott Morton's next in line, Clay says.
I talked to Scott like what is it, Sunday, a couple days ago, and about some stuff, and I was like, hey, I need to get you on here, and he's like, yeah, let's do it this week, and all this stuff
to ruin his career,
huh?
He doesn't need you ruining his career.
Whatever, man. I had Zona on. I think Zona, someone said that I gained a bunch of followers from Zona. I was like, what are you talking about? Zona, that it was this highlight of his whole year was being on my deal the other day. I told him it's all downhill after this. Yeah. I think he got like 30 or 40,000 more subscribers on Instagram just for being on. That many. Wow. Or 3 or 4,000, something like that.
I'll probably lose followers by being on your show.
That's true.
Yeah. So Clayton Batts is after Kyle. Clayton, you better be calling me too. You might need me to quit.
No, he's gonna have to pay 2 people.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's gonna have to pay you and someone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're at the top of the list. You get it going.
I'm telling you.
This is a good career move.
It is. Biffle went over and he's fishing the MPFL. He could have fished the Bass Pro Tour.
Hey, and look at that. Just like that, gone for no reason whatsoever. Oh, he's back.
Okay.
Right
here. Well, I never left.
Yeah, you left. All right.
Yep.
We need a worldwide-ish and Zona show. Oh my God. It would just be people talking over each other.
It would be. So throw Gerald in there too. So I would just shut up.
No, you wouldn't.
I would. I'd be like sitting over there, looking up, gazing into the sun, and not saying a word, just jerking bass.
James got offered half a fine to leave the live now.
That's funny.
Clay's throwing them out today. Yeah,
hey, I don't on it. Clay's high as a motherfucker, though. I guarantee you.
Dude, don't be cussing on my deal. Golly.
I apologize, everybody.
That's horrible. I don't know if anyone's done that ever. You're the worst.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize, little kids. Yep. Hey, Uranus is no longer a sponsor of mine. Good friend of mine, Lou King. Love them guys. But he got rid of his little tackle store that he had, and so I don't promote him anymore. But
really,
yep, Michael Scott fishing in there, throwing around the Toyotas. Mike, those are still good tournaments to fish. Toyota Series are best bang for your buck out there when it comes to it, as far as
I
I'm
tell
concerned.
everyone,
I do.
I
You
tell
know,
everyone it's the best. It is by far the best.
yeah. Just remember who owns them.
Yeah, but man, look, I'm honest with like I don't hold grudges on any of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't. I'll go fish whatever if it's set up the right way. But I
Yeah,
mean, all they got, like I said, none of that stuff had anything to do with any of the Toyotas. Toyota's just a tournament. I like tournaments where you pay your money, you know what you're getting, you go in there and do it. There's nothing else.
yeah. That's it. And they got a kick-ass championship.
Like it is it is the best championship out there. Hands down.
I can't help. I get sidetracked reading some of your guests. One guy just lost a sponsor for watching me.
Yeah.
Hey, monetize it, my friend. Monetize it. Uh, yeah, Michael, stick to the fishing Toyotas, dude. You know, if you want to jump in and spend a bunch of money, go fish go fish MPFL. So there goes $10,000. Hey, I started a GoFundMe page. You guys, would people be willing to throw some money in there and let it all hang out this year, like pulling on them and fishing my underwear and stuff like that? I'm telling you, the fines are going to run rampant on me this year.
Really?
Oh, yes. I've been fined twice in the last 9 years for a grand total of $14,000. 14,000. That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
What for? What tournament rule did I break, Tad?
Don't ask me.
I didn't.
You just did.
No, I didn't break no tournament rule.
Oh, I said don't ask me what tournament rule you broke. And then you're like, don't
I
ask
am
me.
asking you.
I don't know.
Oh. Well, I didn't. There
I
were no
know.
tournament rules broken. For me to get my fine, I did not break any tournament rules. I just want to be clear that I just violated the code of conducts or something like that. So
it's always funny to me because I guess I can't talk about this either. Well, I had a conversation in the past couple of days. It was really good. And
when do you not have good conversations?
No,
is that better?
I'll say this. Basically, the conversation went down as I was asking if we got a lot of tournaments coming up, is all I'm going to say. And I was like, I wanted to know if some individuals were going to be fishing this year.
Yeah.
Just wanted to know. And that got brought on to a whole bunch of other things because I'm like, man, like, be a watchful eye this year if they decide to fish. And so that got into a whole other thing. And then we got to talking about the last 20 years of stuff. And he was like, man, when it's all said and done, I can't wait I said, we're going to have a conversation about the last 20 years and all these different people that have come through the ranks. And this is more or less from our area. Y'all have them too, right? But there's so much stuff that I'd say like less than 1% of people know that has gone down in some of these tournaments. And I'm like, okay, man, well, I'm not going to say anything, but when it's all said and done and we can all talk about it, I can't wait because it's going to be a phenomenal conversation. But
it is.
It's amazing that stuff can go down, that bad stuff happens in a tournament and sometimes nothing happens. And then apparently speaking your mind can get you in trouble.
That's what'll get you, boys. That's right. That is what I always say will you'll bite you right in the ding ding right there.
Yeah, they had Dana White. There's a clip running around of Dana White. Go back to like the Black Rifle deal, and Dana White was he was asked about somebody, and it was basically about free speech, and Dana White goes off about free speech. He's like, I don't like. I don't control nobody. They can say whatever they want to, and
Yep.
Don't get me wrong, there's consequences for what you say. Like we
Oh
might
yeah.
say, if I went off on a tear about something, which I don't know why I wouldn't, but if you did, like, yeah, I mean, every sponsor I have could get rid of me, but I
Yep.
don't think any of them could find me.
Well, MLF, Nathan Kaufman just said it. MLF's a private company.
True.
Uh, Apparently on the podcast, I said some disparaging things about, you can't say disparaging things about the league, other anglers, sponsors, boat officials. It says that in my contract. Apparently, I did request, however, uh, in the most formal of all formal ways, request what it was on the podcast that I said was disparaging. Um, I I did not get a response. But anyway, in order for me to keep fishing, I have to pay this fine um, before the 15th of April, or I lose my spot on the Bass Pro Tour.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, yeah, it's all
Hey,
right. That's
I wonder, will they take it out of your winnings?
I did request they take it out of my winnings. They did. That was the only appeal process that I was awarded. So I myself have always had a great relationship with FLW and the league, and always always talked highly about fishing the BFLs and fishing Toyotas and stuff like that. So I don't think I've ever said anything bad about the organization itself. I'm just uh just a little perturbed about the direction our sport's going in and how numbers of us have been recently are going to be deleted from the business.
What
So
would you go fish in PFL?
not this year.
No. I mean, was that an option?
I might.
Are the
Again,
opens an
Todd,
option?
look at the
Are you not? Are you allowed to talk about that? I'm being serious.
yeah.
Talk
No,
about that.
no. I could go fish the opens and MPFL, fish Toyotas. I don't know what I'm going to fish. Here's the whole point of it. I have realized this, and it has showed its face through many conversations with other people, with sponsors, uh, and just overall general population that says we don't care what you fish. That used to not be the case. And social media has changed that, Todd. The YouTube has changed that.
Man, I've been screaming this
I know you have, so
from
I'm
the
not scared.
mountaintops.
I know you have, and I'm no longer scared of losing a said platform, because the platform is you.
Is
That's
you
it.
correct?
Is you.
If you're willing to
So
work for it, correct?
that's
Yes.
right. I don't want to wear a chesty and all these things, but
I
you
don't
know,
think you have to. I don't think you have to. But I I'll put it to you this way. I think as this is just me. As you raise your platform, however which way you want to do it, I think this is being able to get bigger, and we're going to put this as the terminal organization's platform. I don't think this. It might be the same. I can 1,000,000% promise you that it's not bigger. Tomorrow, it's not bigger. And the next day, this is not growing. This is staying the same, if not dropping. I don't want to say
well,
dropping. If you're asking me personally, I think it's dropping. But if nothing else, it's staying the same. Does that make sense? And
yeah,
so what everyone thought that this was their only way to do it, right? And this was the only way to get sponsors and the only way to get on TV, all that stuff.
that
It's
started
not
shifting
anymore.
gears. That started
Right.
shifting gears a few years ago.
Correct.
And this year, it has showed it. When some of your top guys say, you know what, I'll go back to a AAA to try to get back to the majors.
And
Anglers are actually doing that because the platform doesn't mean as much as it used to. That I
no,
mean, I don't know how else to say that. And I'm not saying I don't think that's derogatory about the organizations at all.
no.
It's it's
This
just
has
changed.
zero to do with organizations.
Yeah.
This is the best way I can say it. 15 years ago, if I wanted to watch fishing on TV, I had to wait till, I don't know if it was 15. It was when I was a kid. So someone can say this. Whenever it started, if I wanted to watch someone on TV that was a fisherman, and I classified them two different ways. There were the Hank Parkers and Bill Dances and uh Roland Martin had a show. Who was that other show? In Fisherman. I can go on and on. You had those TV shows, and then the rest was Bassmaster, right, on Sunday
Yep.
mornings.
Yep.
And then FLW came in the deal, and you could watch now two tournament organizations, and there's no live. It was just those, and you
Yep.
would watch it on your TV on cable.
Yep.
This is important, on cable.
Right.
I don't even have cable anymore. I have Hulu and net. Like my wife, it took her forever to convince me because I was going, how am I going to watch this or watch that? And to be honest with you, now the TV doesn't even turn on. I don't even hardly watch anything, but it's Netflix, Hulu,
Yep.
stuff like that. For other people, they don't even watch TV. It's all YouTube and this and that and whatever it might be. I'm not saying this has nothing to do with the organizations. This has to do with how you're able to access stuff. And to
Right.
me, if people don't want to watch tournament fishing, they can go access YouTube stuff. If they
That's right.
don't want to care about anything like that on a Monday at 2:00, right, in January when everyone's iced in, there's no fishing shows on right now. They can come watch this.
Yeah.
And I just think that has changed the way. It's great too because now people can sit there and go after what they want. They don't have to watch something on. They can go figure it out what they want to watch.
That's
And
right.
that's where I think it's changed. And but there's some of us, not us, but there's some guys out there that they don't know how to do any of that. So they're still going after like cable, right? They're still trying to figure out how to put up an old school dish network to go watch cable fishing. And I'm over here going, hey man, you can go after that, but that's the thing that's dying off when this other platforms are rising. And it's probably the way of the future. And I'm just looking that way instead of the other way. That's my opinion.
Right. Well, I always told my real estate agents, if the market demanded that you drive a pink Cadillac in order to sell more houses, I'd go get two of them. The sport of bass fishing's no different. If I can maintain my sponsorships and get new sponsorships as time progresses and make a steady living promoting bass fishing and promoting the products and building this house and promoting the products that I'm building the house with, that's my way to make a living. I don't see that changing just because I come off the Bass Pro Tour, right?
Right. Well, and let me say this too. I've said this from day one. Our sport is unlike any other sport. If you want to call it a sport, people get mad about that. You can call it a high-priced hobby. I don't really care what you call it. I've said this from day one, and I always use Tiger Woods, but I can use everything as an example. I can use the football playoffs going on right now. You can possibly go online right now and watch some guys, right?
Yep.
Play flag football randomly out in the grass. That's basically what YouTube is, right? Yep. Some random guy on YouTube catching some fish on a lake. That's what YouTube is. Anyone can go make that. And if someone wants to follow that, they can follow it. If 22 guys wanted to go out there and play football on a field and for whatever reason they wanted to, that's what they would go do. None of those guys could go compete in the NFL.
Yeah.
Because everyone in the NFL, that is by far the best people in the world are at that. So you can put that with golf.
Yeah.
You can put that with every single sport you play. Fishing's the only one that's not true. And I say this all the time because of this. One, we have no idea who the best fishermen are. We have an idea of who the top 20 or 30 are, but everyone in the NFL, dude, there's no one on the NFL that kind of is like hanging around. Like if you're not that good, there's a guy right underneath you that can like take your spot. And they didn't pay to get in the NFL. They were chosen by a team, like they were worth something to get there. That's not our sport. If you put all these guys out there on a basketball court with the worst NBA player, that guy's going to clean the house on every single person. And this is the thing I've always said. You could put Kevin Van Dam when he was at the top level and put him on a lake he's never been on, and put a guy who has won 3 tournaments in his lifetime or no tournaments in his lifetime. You can put him out on that lake, and there's a good chance he could beat Kevin Van Dam on a given day.
Right.
Okay. On a given day, that worst NBA basketball player will never lose, ever. He will be 1,000 for 1,000 against those guys. And so fishing has this weird little element that it's like, I'm not saying it's luck, but it's you're going after fish. You're not really competing against other fishermen to a degree. You're kind of more or less about it's a weird deal.
Yeah.
And I just think that they need to, so if a guy wanted to go watch a guy catch 14 10-pounders in one day, he can do it, but yet 99% of all pros have never done that, right? So like that might be more interesting to them than watching some guy catch 2-pounders at a lake he's never going to go to, going, yeah, I've seen that before. I don't really care. It's not entertaining.
Yep. Well, you're right. So your guests have got some interesting things. One Jeremy's asking what's interesting about Marty Stone hasn't been on anything to talk about what happened and letting him go. Here's why, guys. There is a confidentiality agreement with a statute of limitations, like a time frame, that you're not allowed to say things. I'm not allowed to say things. I promise you that anglers like myself and Gerald Swindle and even really quiet anglers that don't have much to say have so much that we know about that fishing fans would literally drag some sponsored anglers products out in the street and run it the fuck over. What? Oh, damn it. Shit. I'm sorry, Todd.
That's 3.
Would literally burn their products in the streets as if it was the disco era, getting rid of disco records. Right, Todd?
That they would get rid that. Now what?
If the general public knew about some of the stuff behind the scenes of bass fishing, that they would be so pissed off at how they have done things or spent their money or believed in people that they would it would be stuff burnt in the streets. It's crazy. Bass fishing is no different than any other corporate business. That's it. What we all need to get around to enjoying is fishing again. And what organization, it doesn't matter the organization. They're all independent companies and they're trying to make a dollar. So if the payback's an 80-20, they're going to give 80% of our entry fees back to us anglers, and they're going to put the 20% in their pocket to run said operations. And that's how it works.
And I have no problem with that. Like I made a video. So when we talked about me and Russell the other day, I did a video about fishing for 42,000. Well, 25,000 of that was entry fee. And then they were given, if you were the highest place finisher, 10,000 for Skeeter. Okay. And then Skeeter also has their real money. And if you paid $100, you can get in that. That's 7,500 extra bucks. Then they gave away power pole money. I just checked it all. Garmin money, power pole money. You got Garmin, right? You got power pole.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I know you got TH Marine. They were giving away Atlas. Or do you have TH Marine, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So they were giving all that money away for high. So everyone won that. There was some all this other money in there. And I was going, and so I did a whole video. It was supposed to drop today, and then we did this. There was this incentive money, which I think incentive money is massive and such a great deal and such a good thing that like fishing should go after even more, because I think it's a win-win for everyone, right? Yep. And so that's where you can get extra money and get it in there where it's not out of the angler's pockets. It's out of buying certain products, good products that you would actually want to use, and you can get paid for it. And that would eliminate a lot of what you just talked about, that if people, if they were actually selling, and we are, there's a lot of good products out there. Like there's phenomenal fishing products out there that are really good, made by a lot of different companies. I mean, I've tried to put, I'm very proud of anything that I've ever worked with Strike King, you know, and
Strike King's great. I love working with Strike King and Lewis.
Yeah. I mean, and it's why, like, if you look at the spot, like I've had power pole from day one.
Me too.
You know, and I've had TH Marine from day one. Like I don't plan on.
Me too.
And I'm happy with their products. Like it's so easy. I told some guys this. I'm like, man, I look back. Oh, because I'm going to ask you about this. I'm going to talk about this. I look back at I don't know if they were opportunities, but they were things that almost happened that didn't quite pan out. And I look back going, thank goodness that didn't pan out the way it did. Whether it be like the product was bad and I didn't really know, or the people that ran the deal were bad, or whatever, you know, or the people that they hired on with them, like other anglers. I'm like, oh, good thing I'm not with those guys. I don't really want to be associated with them. I'm real happy to be with the people. Like, I'm proud of the people I'm with. Like, it's like, I like it. Like, it's not like, oh God, I have to deal with these people again. It's great.
Me too. Cause I can say F-bombs and I won't get fired.
I'm not worried about getting fired. YouTube's like, they don't like that.
Todd, don't be a puss.
Well, no, I mean, hey, I had to ban a guy in here the other day because he just kept on.
No, you didn't ban nobody on social media.
I did.
You banned him?
I banned one guy for the first time ever because he just wouldn't stop, and he was getting everyone else all fired up, and YouTube wrote me a message, and I was like, hey man, you gotta chill out.
That's funny.
I banned him. I gave him a warning, and then he freaking left like 9 messages in a row, and I'm like, I don't have time to deal with you, dude. You're out. First one ever. They're gonna start name. Look, they already knew. Look at this. Yeah. Just look at the comments. They already knew who it was gonna be. I gave him a nice warning. Yeah. Look at it. The comments already know. I haven't said it. They already know who it is. He's out.
Oh boy, that's funny.
Yeah. Hey, so on that, have you ever had? I've only had one sponsor that when I'll tell you, I'll ask you first. I've had one sponsor, and the sponsor wasn't bad. One person that made everything bad, and it was a night. It ended up. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm so glad I went through it now to know. But man, at the time, oof, it just oof.
Yeah.
You got one?
I don't know. I'm just like, I'm reading the comments from your guest. So
they all know. That one guy I had, they owed me a bunch of money and stuff.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah. Don't stop. Wait. I'll tell you who owes me a bunch of money. John Scarborough at Lure Lock. That guy right there owes me $4,600. Dude, don't get me going. That dude from Lure Lock, I signed this contract and it said, if you this is a contract they sent me. If you wear our hat and take a picture we'll pay you $500 every time you do that, up to twice a year. If you do this, my total contract was like $7,000 if I performed and did everything on my lure lock. Where are you going, Todd?
No, hey, nowhere.
And look, I did all that. Come ICAST or like, hey, James, here's part of your payment. I'm like, okay, that's half of it. I was supposed to be paid half that in like April. And I'm like, where's the rest of my money? Oh, well, we'll do it. Where'd you go, Todd?
What? Nothing. I'm here.
This is a good thing. So Scarborough, I hope he listens. I hope Lure Lock. I hope people.
I don't even know. I don't know any of these.
I
don't
hope people
know him.
sponsored by Lure Lock know how dirty this old boy is. So I hired an attorney to say, please send me here's everything that I did as per the contract. John Scarborough had the balls to say, I didn't sign that contract. And I'm like, you sent it to me. I signed it. I sent it back. You didn't send me a signed contract back. You performed already on half of this contract. It's a contract. And because he lives in Wisconsin or some godforsaken cold spot, I would have to hire an attorney in Wisconsin to get representation to get my $4,600. I'd spend about $10,000. So, John Scarborough, when I see you in person, and everybody on this podcast knows that I put you out there on full blast, leaving people hanging from Lure Lock, is way different. It was the worst contract, the worst I've ever been treated by anybody in my entire life. I got paid from everybody that I had a contract with the exception of Lure Lock. There you go. Poor James.
Who?
Wah, wah, wah.
Who is that again?
Lure Lock. It's a tackle box company. It's green. So anyway, so for all you guys that are sponsored by Lure Lock, please keep promoting them so that you can get your 3 free tackle boxes a year. Don't be stupid. Todd will send you 3 free tackle boxes.
I'm not
Start
sending.
putting your addresses on here, folks, so Todd can start sending you free stuff.
I'm not sending nothing. Nobody. I don't even know.
Now I've got you, Todd.
Well, mine. My advice. Well, my advice won't be. It will not work with you, but because mine was. It made me so mad because I worked for so long and hard and did all this stuff and they didn't only do me. It was another guy. That guy quit. And when he did, I said, dude, he owes you a bunch of money. He said, I don't care anymore, dude. And this has been the best day ever. I woke up this morning and he's all like, he was like ranting for like 3 months about all this stuff. And then the next time I talked to him, he's just like, lucky go, like this is the best day in the world, whatever. And I was like, forget that, man. Like they owe too much and we did too much and all this stuff. And then about a month or two goes by. I had enough. I had enough too. And I walked away and I will tell you when I walked away the next day, I was like,
you felt better.
Oh my gosh. Cause I was like, man,
I walked away from Lure Lock and you just kind of, you provoked me, Todd.
I didn't know.
You provoked me. So,
but it wasn't. I don't
see you, John. If I see you in person, John, at ICAST at your expensive booth, don't think I won't ask you for my $4,600 because I will.
See, and I wouldn't even talk about the company because the company was really good. It's just one person, and that's what
this
sucks.
Is the guy that owns it.
I know. I'm saying for me, it wasn't. It was just one person, and that guy, he's not even in the industry really anymore. But I mean, that's what sucks. Is it can be one person that ruins it, and and the company's fine.
Somebody wanting a new hinge lock for his tackle box that's broke. Yeah. Oh boy. Well, you know what? These coming on these podcasts and stuff are fun because you get to talk and you get to show people and what the day in and day out lively. I I personally I'm having more fun building this new house and stressing out about it at the same time. And really, I really do not like to fish in the cold. And I hope when we go to our first event that it doesn't snow on us. So or blow 5,000. So
Was it an insurance company? No, it wasn't no insurance company. It was long time ago. Uh,
big big
I'm,
dog says, "Welcome to the corporate world, James."
yeah.
What most of you don't know, I've been a businessman for 22 years on my own. Made it all on my own. Nobody give me jack diddly shit. Boom! Ow, Todd! Huh? Can you say shit?
Stop. I gave up on it. I gave
Oh,
up.
oh, good. I can cuss all I want now.
No.
Yes.
Listen, hey,
Oh,
the other like I coach my little I coach my son's little dribblers deal. And even my daughter one day was like, she goes, she started naming people that watch me and stuff,
yep.
and like friends and stuff, or at least subscribe, whatever. They probably don't watch. One of them got on here the other day. This is like elementary school, was like, got on here. And I was going, oh my God. But I had Zone on, and Zone is like a true professional. You know what I'm saying? Unlike you,
Yep.
like he can, like, you know what I'm saying? Like hold it together. This is, uh,
You get so sidetracked. You're funny, Todd.
well, I'm also,
Yeah.
I gotta get a little.
One question is, how do you get the dog hair out of the lure lock compartments? Good luck. You don't. It's there forever.
Little dribblers.
Little dribblers, that could be really taken the wrong way.
Yeah.
So Joe Biden plays for the big dribblers. oh, oh boy. Okay, 4600 is going to be haunting that man for the rest of his life. John Scarborough is his name. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm going to set my own swear jar up and put my own money in it and get rich.
No, you
I'm going
need
to
to.
double. I'm going to
When I
double.
come down there and stay with you, you need to put it in a jar, and every time it comes to me when I get there.
Yeah, yeah. Frank Scalise, Scales said that I got everything for free because I was in the army. True, true,
I've never
true.
been around someone like y'all don't even realize. You should see this house he's building. And it's all free. I'm just blown away by it.
Free because I got great sponsors. Todd,
I know.
go fishing. You got to
Well,
make your
almost.
money on fishing, weighing in bass.
I'm gonna have to fish for the next 25 years to build a house like you're building. Y'all, you
Yep.
just get. I could build your
Don't even
outside
go there, Todd.
porta potty.
Don't even go there, Todd.
Your outside porta potty.
Todd, yes, you could have that, and I'm going to throw in 3 sheets of pegboard for you to put your fishing lures on.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yep. So, dude, I'm so excited. So, why am I building such a big house, Todd? Glad you asked.
I already
Todd,
know, but go ahead and tell everyone.
you've been here to my house. I bought this place in 2011, refurbed it, put a bunch of work into it, made it look nice, very comfortable. Right, Todd? You've been here many times, freeloading off of me.
Love it.
Yes.
Freeloading. No,
Yes.
I always come down there and then show you how to catch them on Table Rock.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But you sleep comfortable here, correct?
Yes, every single time.
Okay, good. And you always got a good quality place to plug your boat in, correct?
Yeah. Hey, this time covered. I had covered parking this time, electricity, 8 meals there, good
Yes.
company. Like, I love
Dude.
it.
All right. So I tested the nightly rental market on the road 2 years ago and this last season just to see how my house would rent out, what I could get for it. And the results were fabulous. So I've decided that I'm going to build a house because I got 2 more lots right here next door. That I'm going to build another house of similar size that turned out to be about 3,000 square foot bigger and rent this one out full time on the nightly rental program. It will pay for my new house. So how about that? That's my game plan. That's what I'm. That's why. That's what I enjoy doing with my money. Is making more money.
And you still got your because when I go to Grand, I got to make sure I still got a. I mean, I could stay at your house, you and Holman's,
Yes,
or I could stay at Steven Metter's house. Either one.
that's true. You got options there.
I got
You
options.
got Hallman and I still have our place over in Bernice at the Horse Creek Bridge area.
Yep.
We still have that. So
I mean, I can
that is
also say
available.
I can stay at Cowboys. I can stay at a bunch of people's. I'm just saying.
Yeah, yeah. Got Cowboys. Got Wayne.
Got Wayne.
Denny's. Yep,
Yep.
yep. You stay at Bradley and I's place. We're gonna charge you money. So
That's fine. I got money. You'll get it
yeah,
too. We'll write
yeah.
up a contract. I won't even sign it, but we'll get it.
You don't sign. You'll send it to me though, and make me sign it first, thinking that I'm under contract because I signed something you sent. The
Yeah.
proposal that you sent me. You
And
know
then I
what?
don't send it.
Hey, anglers out there right now, how many of you have actually got legitimate contracts from your sponsors that get sent to you? They say, hey, please sign, date, and send this back. You better go and check to see if they sent you the signed page back. But if they act on it, and it's considered a contract. That's the law.
Other than that one time, everyone I've ever dealt with for me in the fishing has been like just freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, someone asked, and I don't know where it was at, about that's big corporations and things like that. Man, most of the fishing, I don't know about most.
Yep.
There's a lot, man, that they do things right.
Yeah.
Most of the companies, almost every company I've ever dealt with, other than that one, and it wasn't the company, it was that guy. I want to make that clear.
Yep.
Everyone else has been freaking about as stand up as you could ask for.
Yep. I'm licensed in the state of Missouri for real estate. Hallman is doing fine. I talked to Hallman the other night. He's doing good.
Yeah.
He's just not interested in fishing. That's all.
Or talking.
Have you talked to him?
Yeah. But I mean,
yeah.
I just don't everyone's like, he'll eventually come out and talk. It might be 2 years from now. I don't know. Whenever that is, then he can tell everyone.
But his kids are that age too. He's got ball games every 20 seconds, just like you do. Yeah.
I mean, people got to realize that if me and you talk for 2 hours on the phone, I'd say like 10 minutes of it's fishing.
Yeah.
And I just don't think, I mean, sometimes we'll get into fishing stuff, like when we want to, like sometimes we'll talk fishing and then, but I mean, I think the whole time we were up there at your house, we were there, 5, 6, 7 days between me, you, Ish, Jamie, Beerhort, everyone. There was fishing would get talked about for 10 to 15 minutes a night. And then the rest of the night, it was never fishing.
Yeah. That's true.
I just, but when I want to talk fishing, y'all are the guys I would want to talk to, but we just don't have to do it very, for long periods of time.
Because of the knowledge, Todd?
I don't know what it is. I just don't. I don't think we have very many questions, really. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's
more
just
one important question is always, what are we eating tonight?
Well, that's always the biggest one.
Yeah. Well, we do eat good though, don't we?
And it. One night Ish would pick up some Coronas, and the next night I would pick up some Coronas.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, this has been fun. I can't believe people are still watching. How many's watching right now?
442,000.
Wow.
It's a pretty big one this time. Yeah.
Popular.
Yeah.
Popular. What kind of clickbait name? What kind of clickbait are you headline are you putting on this here podcast?
Everything's free.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Everything.
Yeah, I don't pay for anything.
Yeah. This podcast will be free now. YouTube just all of a sudden made it free. They're probably not going to pay.
You're not going to get paid on it?
Probably not. It's free now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, so you're coming. What day are you? You said the 30th. Is that the first day or is that practice
That's
day?
the first day. I don't even know if I'm in Group A or Group B. That's how
How many
enthused
days you
about
get to
it.
practice?
3. They added a day of practice. Why?
Is that bad?
Is it necessary? That would be.
I don't know. I'm wondering. I don't know.
Do you want 3 days of practice?
There's times I do. On Toledo, I would because it's just so massive.
Yeah.
Some other ones I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, I like. I've grown accustomed to 3. Like I never practiced 5 for like the opens. I never did 5-day practice. Every
Yeah.
once in a while I did a 4.
Wow.
Every once in a while, every once in a while.
Dang, I gotta go make a living somehow. I can't fish every day. I'd be broke if I fished every day.
Well, I don't fish every. Well, so you're going to come down here. You're going to get 3 days of practice.
Yep.
We'll be getting done with the Brandon Belt on that Sunday. Is
At
that
Toledo?
No, at Rayburn. What? Okay, that's the 28th. The 30th is a Tuesday. Okay.
Yep.
And y'all got places to stay. You didn't call me up. I didn't.
I quit calling you a long time ago.
You had a place to stay.
Where?
Kelly's.
Oh, I'm traveling with John Hunter and Coulter again this year. Hunter's got us a place.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's a couple people that just those guys start traveling with someone, they just didn't ask.
Yeah.
I don't go to Toledo. We have all of our Toledo stuff is later. I think I got a Toyota over there. They're finally putting one back in March.
I'm going to go to that as a co-angler.
Ari, so I've had 2 tournaments there in March. Came in first in one and third in the other. So
you were boat flipping back-to-back 10-pounders?
No, I didn't get any 10. I found a 10-pounder for one of them, but she was gone.
Yeah.
But no, and then we have like championships. Like all of our championships this year on Toledo. Yeah. Brandon Belt wins. I think the Texas Team Trail stuff. So,
well, I'll save you some waypoints.
Really? I doubt. Yeah, save me some January waypoints that I can use in
July.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll do that. Matter of fact, I'm just waiting on people to start bombarding me with waypoints for Toledo Bend.
If you find one on a bed, come January 30th, let me know where you found it because
the water, I can turn it loose. I can turn it loose and it goes right back, Todd.
Or you can just catch it again.
I do, dude. Hey, that was in our rules for many years. It didn't matter. You could catch it as many times. I'm on heavy hitters at Palestine, and I'm like, screw it. I can't. I've been looking, and I know that I can catch this one again. So I went back and caught him again. I was like, and I said it. Poor fish. Poor fish.
Well, Toledo should be fun. I haven't been over there in a while, but it should be fun. It's better.
Yeah.
It's better than what it was. It seems to be getting better every year. I mean, I caught a 10 out there last year,
Yeah.
A lot of 10s.
You catch 10-pounders. You catch 10-pounders everywhere you go. So.
Not on your leg. I haven't caught one up there. Do y'all even have 10-pounders?
Every once in a while, one to get caught here at Lake of the Ozarks. Yeah. Yep.
At Lake of the Ozarks?
Lake of the Ozarks, there'll be one caught every once in a while.
You think they're bigger at Lake of the Ozarks or Table Rock?
Lake of the Ozarks.
Huh.
Definitely.
Really?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yep. Lake of the Ozarks is a good pond.
Oh, I love it.
Biggest talking about big bass. I know you catch 10-pounders all the time. I don't. Like 9 pounds even's the biggest I ever caught. Kissimmee. Ronnie Green, a fishing story TV show. He was with me pre-fishing that day when I caught that big giant bass. But you remember that big one I caught a few years ago in a Toyota, Todd? That one time in that Toyota, I caught that one and I held it up to the camera and it weighed 8.1.
Where was that at?
At Grand Lake.
Oh yeah, that was a big one.
You finished. You were like, I think you threw one back so that you would not finish in the top 10.
No, I only caught 3 on day 1. 3 big ones, and then day 2 I had like the biggest bag, and I finished 11.
Yeah,
because I caught them sight fish, and I didn't know that they were going to be on beds up there in that cold. What Or I knew there was a couple, but I was kind of getting bit really good in practice. I don't know what I wanted to kind of make the cut, kind of, but I had no idea what I would have done the next day.
Man, I was catching so many of them, and I was like, "How did you not catch 5 that day?" But then after after that first day, you told me you were looking at all of them. It's like, dang, you didn't have to look at them. You just pitched a damn bait down the bank. They were everywhere.
But it was where you were at. I was doing it way south, and so I was catching them down there. It was good, and then like 12, 11 o'clock comes by. I hadn't had a bite. Like, it was horrible. And so I left. I'm like, well, I know where a sight fish is. Let me go see what it is. And those fish up there, sometimes it wasn't dirty water, but you couldn't really see that well. Yeah. And I just thought they were 3-pounders. When I catch the first one, it was a 4-pounder. And I'm like, well, I think I know where another one is. And I caught 3 that day for 12 pounds. I caught 3 4s. And then the next day I caught 5 for like 20 and a half or something.
Yeah. So, I think I had 21 or 22 that first day, but I anchored it with an 8-1.
Yeah.
So, Clay Wilson ask if I fished at a world championship in Mexico. Yeah, I did. And the day after, we shot a show, and Scott Martin caught like a 12-something, and I got to lip it.
That was the next day?
Yeah. It was a giant one. It was a giant. So, a lot of fun. Yep, definitely going to do some plopper fishing when I get to Toledo. So, yep.
When you're going to come down here and plopper fish?
Hell yeah, I can't wait for it.
It might, like on the ice?
Well, if I have to, you know me, that's all it throws, plopper.
It might. I'm telling you, man, it's amazing. So right now it's like pouring down rain. Today's the nice day. It actually might get up to like 38, 40. And then I think when y'all get down here, the water temps, I don't think it's even going to be close to being above 50.
Yeah.
So good luck with that.
Pete Cook wants to come down here and rent my house and go fishing. Yeah, I can recommend a good guide. Robbie Dodson used to fish FLW tour. Tad knows Robbie. So Robbie can take you spooning. Come on, guys. Rent my house here. It's $1,000 a night, 7-bedroom, hot tub, swimming pool, lake access, easy go. Yeah, rent it.
I got 2 things. One, the only problem with me not watching, there's been 2 things on here. Apparently, Gerald Sporer got on BTL's podcast maybe this morning.
Yeah, what's that all about?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't watch, and I don't know about this thing either. I didn't know Milliken spelled it with a C, but yeah. I don't. That's the only problem with me not watching much YouTube and watching that stuff. I don't even know.
Yeah. Hey, earlier they were talking about Gerald Sporer going on Bass Talk Live. What was said on there, guys, that was interesting?
I think a lot of the stuff I saw was something about like sponsors and maybe how it's changing or something like that.
Non-endemic sponsor, getting a non-endemic sponsor is not new. I mean, I've had non-endemic sponsors. I had a flashlight company one year. Had a cigar company one year. You had a coffee company for 3 years. So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess it was non-endemics, but
yeah.
Hey, so they want to do this. So on YouTube, I started doing like it'd be a 1-rod challenge where. So guys always ask questions about like, how do you get good at stuff? And I'm like, man, the easiest way is just go out there and do it. Like, just do that. Like, if you want to get good at throwing a jig, go throw a jig all day long.
Yeah.
And go do it all the time. So I've made some videos where like, all right, I pick a bait and that's what I'm going to go do. Now, I always tell somebody, don't go topwater fishing in the freaking middle of the winter time, and don't go like throwing red crankbaits in the middle of July. Right. But try to pick it when it would be right. But man, we need to do that one time where me and you go out there with a plopper.
Yeah.
Just need to pick the right place and do it.
That's right. There's nothing wrong with that. So we talked earlier about some of the co-angler and the best co-angler, the worst co-angler. Remember that worst co-angler I ever had that reminded me of a plopper day. So They're
I thought
talking now, though. Your fans are talking now. Notice that they're your fans. I hope everybody that's watching this right now will become fans of mine and follow me on the Real James Watson on Instagrams or the professional or James Watson Professional Angler on the Facebook. So, and if I had a YouTube channel, it would sync Todd's, just sync it immediately. I would be like Wrong Fish Mondays and all these things. So, yep. See, they've all been fans of mine for years. So, uh, they're talking about Spore had a 6-figure sponsor when he was fishing the opens. Fishing the opens, he could have had a 6-figure sponsor regardless of what he was fishing. He didn't lose that 6-figure sponsor because he went to the Bass Pro Tour. I'm sure of that. It's just, times change and people change title sponsors. Unless you're, you know, a 5%er, like Kevin hasn't changed sponsors in years. And if he ever did change a sponsor, it would be an internal, such as Quantum now being owned by Rather Outdoors. So he went to lose. It was all a horizontal internal move.
that's how kind of some stuff went with me, like the boat deal with like Legend, and
Yep.
then went to Ranger. Legend went away, and then Ranger bought him, and then I was with Ranger and stuff, and then the whole Ranger. I mean, we were all with Ranger when that happened, so that's how I'd gotten with Skeeter. And I don't. I mean, I'll be honest. I just don't see Skeeter and me departing for hopefully for the rest of my career. They've been
Well,
awesome.
that's the way I feel about Charger, but I do miss my family over at Ranger and stuff. There's a lot of things changed during COVID and whatever, but hey, as I'm talking here, you got 46,450 million people watching. I wonder if any of them would like to sponsor me, Todd. Is that a shameless plug to ask your fans to sponsor me?
I think whatever, man. I think it's. So I'm trying to. Don't. He said, "Don't sell a personality on social media."
Don't sell a personality. That's all
That's
I
what it
got.
says.
That's all I got. Yeah. I don't get it.
I don't
So,
know. Maybe I'll go watch it.
yeah. Chaz, you're right. They couldn't handle me on the YouTube. It'd blow up.
This is what I'll say, Clay. Listen, I have stated this before that I think James is the funniest fisherman I know. And I only say that because there's a lot of guys that are try to be funny. I've been around you, like when it's just all of it, like there is no difference between this and that. The only thing that I think the only thing that would surprise some people about James, and not me, but like there is another, I wouldn't say another side to you, but like me and you've roomed together quite a bit, and like
Yep.
and we all get quiet. Like,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? Like we all need like downtime. I mean, there's everyone in life needs that. And so some people probably are like, James isn't like up here all the time, but you are up there. Like it didn't matter if a camera's on you or not. There's no difference between you, how you're on camera and how you're not. Like people, you might even be worse when the camera's not on you. And when I say worse, in a good way, like in a good way. Yeah. And so, I mean, I always said, man, you were like truly legit funny. And I found you that because you were real about it. Like there was not like you weren't putting on a show.
No, I literally like to have fun all the time. I seriously do. And when you get too serious, you can't get too fun. So, I, I told Cody Meyer this. I said, if the day ever come that you're running down the lake and I don't flip you off or moon you or do something, you'll know that I'm done with bass fishing. So
that time and I'm not going to say who I did it, but that time we did those circles.
What do you call it? Popping wheelies with the power poles
Well,
down
no, you
at
remember
Smith.
Hallman.
Yeah, it was
Well,
at Smith Lake.
well, yeah. But Hallman had in the boat. Why can't I think of his name?
Oh yeah,
Um, who's not with MLF anymore?
yeah.
Why did I go blank?
I don't know, but I know who you're talking about.
And and he looked around when we all took off and went all off in separate directions, and he was like, and Hallman's just shaking his head, and he's like, what is wrong with these guys? And I'm like, what are you talking about? That's just normal. His
Yeah.
boat's just doing this in the middle of the lake. I
Oh,
think someone made a comment, and I think there was rumors of going like, hey, y'all don't be doing donuts out there.
yeah. And
With
you're like,
so
no,
my
we're just popping wheelies.
my buddy
So
Chris, when we got those power poles, like when the power poles first came out, and he was and my buddy Billy would be with me, and he'd always like he thought it was funny. He'd always just be yelling like deploy. And he would like push the button and drop them. And he was just always like, and deploy. Right. So I would get down there
yep.
and we used to take off and I'd put them, you can't mess up power poles, right? Even on their commercials, they drop them on the ground and take off running with them. You can't hardly break them. But if you put them down in the water for no reason, it doesn't help anything. You just do it. You're like, hey man, watch how long I can do a wheelie. And so we were on Rayburn one day, there's no one on the lake. And like, you can just see me like just nose up, power poles down. And I'm like, dude, and we would all be like, I'm setting records out here, dude. I got the longest wheelie on Rayburn. And I guarantee you, I got the longest wheelie on Rayburn out of my boat, power poles down. It was like a minute long wheelie. I hold the record. No one's ever beaten it, by the way. I hold some records people just don't know about. That's one of them. Longest wheelie on Rayburn.
You did have the longest wheelie. That by far, yes. So, that's Cody Hoosier's wanting to know about the Charger. He's got the old school Charger. Curious about the new ones. Some of the new Chargers that are making now are old champion hulls, and Chargers making some old champion hulls. But you can still buy the old Foxfire Chargers if you want, Cody. So there you go, buddy. Yeah. Clay Williamson, good to see you go.
Hey, Scott's funny. Suggs is funny.
Suggs is funny.
And
Thrift is funny. But
dude, I know. You see that on there?
Chain smoking cigarettes. That's
dude,
the funny
Thrift
part.
is funny in a different way, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Thrift is funny.
Yeah.
Like when we stayed together, like I don't know if it's his OCD that's funny or whatever it is, but I'm just like me and Russell are cracking up. Like I'm just telling y'all, watching him respool line is like nothing you've ever seen before in your life.
Oh God. So every night he's putting on new line. I promise you, I'm still running line that I ran 2 seasons ago.
100%.
Yeah.
He'd have that board. He brings that giant freaking stand-up board that holds like 32 different lines. And he has no problem doing it. It's insane.
Yeah. It is crazy.
He said if he makes a cast with a rod, one cast, he'll bring it home that night and change line.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. So yeah, I'm not one to put new line on all the time. I'm like, when it snaps or breaks, then I got issues, then I'm gonna put some new line on.
I throw
and the backing knot hits my thumb when I cast, that's time 100%. To put new line on. Yeah.
100%. I always do one of those deals where I leave everything on there, and then in practice when I kind of when I start if it's like, oh, okay, I got bit on these 3 or 4 baits, and like these are going to be my main staple, I'll change those. And then everything else is like, well, I kind of got by. I think I'm good there, or it's like I haven't cranked in a while. I better like change all my cranking stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But yeah.
You know what's funny? We've been at this an hour and 49 minutes. Here's where in the podcast we ought to just make some random shit up. Like Andy Montgomery makes me laugh too. Well, I'm here to tell you guys right now, Andy Montgomery, he's a hole jumper. He will cut you off. He will cut you off in a tournament. Dave Dudley.
Man, I like Andy.
I'm just joking. That's how you start rumors, dude. Now people will be sending that part to Andy. It's like,
Oh, that's good.
watch 1 hour and 49 minutes where Watson tells the world that Andy Montgomery's a hole jumper.
I'm gonna take that and put it on there and send it to him.
Yes, do it.
I will.
But don't send the part where I'm like, this is just made up. Just that one part.
I will.
I'll do it again. It's 149.58, 150.01. Andy Montgomery, man, he is a hole jumper.
I couldn't even get. I'm not bad. I started laughing.
Just joking. Oh boy.
All right. Well, I'm about to go get some stuff. You got holler at me when you come down here, because I mean we're gonna be around. I don't have much going on. I might come over there and holler at y'all.
Really? Okay, I will. What guy just said do it to Edwin? He would really get pissed. He would. Edwin would have a shit fit. That's funny.
There's a couple.
Oh boy, that's funny. Oh boy. Okay, so I'm gonna holler at you so I can get all my waypoints for Toledo Bend. Is that what you just said? I can't do that, Todd. That's breaking the rules, Todd.
There's
no rules. I'm telling you, this year there's going to be so much cheating. It's not even funny.
Are you allowed to say that?
What? Well, that's my opinion. I believe that there will be. I believe that there will be a lot of people worried about their jobs. That no, I don't think there'll be a lot of cheating. Do I think there'll be a lot of people nervous about losing their jobs? Yes, I do.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 These comments, I can't help it. I can't do this podcast with you because I'm too busy reading comments.
Well, I start reading, like some of them they're pretty tame today. I've seen them. If you get like what you just said, if there's certain things you can start doing, and it starts there. It's not out of control. I just start watching. I can't. I told Zona. So it was weird too, because I was like, hey, Zona, we do this live, right? And he's like, yeah. Because someone goes on there, he's like, man, Zona doesn't have enough whatever to freaking do it live. And I was like, man. And for a second, I kind of was like, man, he might not be able to. And then I thought, all he does is do live shows. What are you talking about? So I told him, I said, but now that we do live, I don't know if I've done a recorded podcast in like 6-7 months. I can't do one because the live ones in the comments are so good.
Yeah.
It's great.
Edwin would get mad if you touched his drum set, one guy just said.
Dude, it's so good.
Hey, the swear jar, I'm glad these guys are throwing this stuff out here. The swear jar, I'm going to have like a 2.5-gallon bucket with a lid on it, and it's going to be my fine jar, and I'm going to have it on the boat as I'm driving through, the morning check-ins and stuff like that at tournaments to see if I can collect donations. You think that's a good idea?
No, because you're not on my deal, because all you'll be doing is cussing the whole time.
I don't. Luke Duncan actually put that on his podcast as JMFW Worldwide Potty Mouth. So
yeah, but y'all recorded it. I can't go back and change any of this.
Oh, okay. Well, this is live, Todd.
I know.
Say, you're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a freaking a strongly discouraging note from YouTube. It's all a computer. I don't know if you know this. If you actually tried to had a problem, you just talk to bots on the computer. It's not like real people. I wouldn't know how to talk to someone that's a person from YouTube. I don't think they exist.
No, they don't.
They're all AI or whatever it is.
They're watching us all the time.
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna get a strike from YouTube. It's a strike against my. I don't have one yet.
I can't believe people have been on here for 2 hours. I want to say this to your fans with all due respect, and I do mean respect. You guys need to get some freaking jobs.
They're all iced in. They're all iced in, man.
Okay. Good reason right there. Man, you guys better leave Edwin alone. He will.
What's he gonna do?
Yeah, what? Oh, he's gonna punch these guys in the face. You better quit.
There's only one. I don't know it. So I don't know Edwin. He doesn't know me. I jumped in his boat one time at Toledo Bend. What?
I'm just reading that last one. Oh,
Uh, uh, I jumped in his boat at Toledo Bend. You know how you just like drop your boats in and stuff. I
yep.
ju- I jumped in his boat one time back at the Open. That might have
You
been
probably
like,
didn't even ask. You just jumped in like, "Hey man, give me a ride."
man, I had dirt and red mud all over, and I just jumped
Oh,
in and just freaking.
I would.
You ever seen that Dave Chappelle show with
Yeah.
Rick James? And
Oh
he
yeah.
freaking was like, that's how I did. I jumped right in his boat, just mud and all, and just walked all over his nitro.
I
And
would have been pissed if you'd done
no,
that to
I didn't do
mine.
that. And then, but I always laugh at that. He was on Kentucky Lake in that tournament, and it was crazy too because I just saw a video today of when Heron when Heron did it. Heron's like rod hit. Matt Heron was reeling in a fish. I just saw a
Yeah.
video of it today. It was an old one where his rod
Yeah.
hit the cameraman,
Uh huh.
and right when he was about to land it, he's like, "What's going on here?" You know, you're like all flipped out, and he got
Yeah.
it. And then I think he realized he was on camera, and then he got the fish. He high fived him. But there's one of I've always told the story like there's one of Edwin, and he's fighting. It's a big one on Kentucky Lake. It was the one he won,
Yeah.
and he and that rod hits that cameraman, and man, the look he gave back for a split second, I was
Oh
like,
man, I remember.
"Oh,
I
you
do
know what I'm talking
remember
about?"
that. I
He
do
gave a
remember that.
look, and I was like, whatever you think, Matt Heron. If you thought Matt Heron got mad, Dale,
Yeah.
trust me, it was way worse with Edwin. And I just
Yeah.
like people remember that. He's like, "Oh, I'm on camera."
Yeah. Yep.
Because someone asked earlier, I know we got to go, but someone asked earlier, like, how are the guys like our camera guys that have ever been on, like, get on with you, no matter what it be, that like most of them are all really awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't
The
ever had a
camera guy.
bad.
Oh, I've always had great camera guys. There's uh, uh Cody Cody Prather, Chad, Rick, just all sorts of cool dudes that I enjoy having in my boat.
We
So
have we get a lot of them too, like to do the Texas team trails and Brandon Belt stuff, and like because they float around, right? Like they don't just work for one company, you know, or they usually contract out or whatever. So I mean, we run into them a lot, but they're going off on Edwin now. I knew if I brought that up, people would go off on it.
who even started it? Now you guys are you're gonna get Edwin worked up, and I quit.
He's gonna get worked up.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh boy.
Like this was pretty.
Oh boy. This kind of shit's why Edwin doesn't take me seriously as a bass fisherman. I promise you.
Well, I will say one thing, man. I think that fish he had on was like, I don't know if it was like a 6 or 7 or it was like an 8 or a 9. It was like a big one, and and I think it was the last day, I believe. Like it was like he won it.
Yeah, he did. He can catch them.
Peter said he started it.
He can catch them. He can catch them. I wish General Tire would make Edwin and I race, whether it's a boat or a car. That would be fun.
Y'all
And
too?
Yeah, I would love it if General Tire's like, here's your guys' task. You and
I
Edwin
thought you were
are-
talking about like a foot race because, dude, he played college ball, man. He's gonna freaking light you
I
up.
played high school ball.
You were like when I think he was a college running back, wasn't he? He played running back in college.
I do not know. So
He
unicycle GT race. I don't know. So beats me.
We had a race. You remember when we had a race? Do you remember this?
What? No, tell me. Remind me.
Remember when, was it in Florida? It was in Florida.
No, I don't remember.
We were backing up in our boats.
Oh, we had a race backwards. Yes.
Like we just
Yes.
happen to be backing up at the same time after the
And then
tournament. Like, I bet I can beat
we
you.
looked at each other. It's like, no, I'm going fast. I'm going further and faster. We just kept going and going and going.
And there were boats
Yes.
everywhere.
I know. It's like, people get out of our way. I'm not going to be outdone by Tad today. And I just kept going and going.
People are like driving into like Wather fishing, and we're going backwards like 12 miles an hour.
Yes. Water was coming over the back of my boat and shit. And I was like, no, I'm going to win. I'm going to win. And you're like, no, I'm going to win. And you kept going. Yeah.
They don't even like people don't realize it. Like there's like I do miss a lot of the stuff on tour, like because like there was a group of us, man, that were like it was just fun to hang out. Like, everyone took it serious, right? But like still had a good like there was us that took it extremely serious, like all the way serious, but then you could have a whole bunch of fun too. Like
the funnest guy that I'm gonna miss fishing against this year, Cody Meyer.
Y'all, I've hung out with Cody a little bit, but I mean,
he's a blast. Now, don't get me wrong, I love hanging out with John Hunter and Coulter and stuff, but Cody not being on tour this year, it's sad. I'm gonna cry. Yep. This guy said Edwin hides baits from himself.
Yeah,
That's funny.
Like Scott, when we roomed with Scott was like nonstop too.
What these people? Sorry, read that one. Edwin mislabels his boxes on purpose. Oh God, Edwin! I hope you see this. This is funny.
I doubt he will.
Like, no, I didn't ask for any of this. What?
Yeah, he did. Poor guy.
For?
He's just over there iced in Oklahoma right now.
I know. Edwin's gonna be like, "What are you guys talking about me for? I didn't do anything."
We didn't even bring him up.
I don't. It's funny. Oh man. Anyway, I can't help it. It's funny. So I gotta get off here. You wasted 2 hours of my life.
Yeah, I know. It's best 2 hours you've had all day.
It is. Other than the last 2 that I was sleeping this morning. It was really good too. Yeah, it did go sideways real quick. We could talk about Randy Howell's haircuts. His flat top. Dude will search out. This is a fact, and Randy will agree with me. Randy will search out the best person in whatever town he is that gives a legitimate flat top. No doubt about it. We'll drive an extra 20 plus miles to get somebody that knows how to cut a real deal flat top. So
I had a flat top when I was younger. For like elementary school and stuff, I had a sweet flat top, faded up, like no hair, like on the sides. Oh yeah, I thought.
Did your mom and dad make you wear really tall cowboy boots when you were growing up too?
No, we weren't like cowboy country. We were poor. We were just. I lived in Houston growing up.
Yeah,
but I mean, my mom was from the country, so was my dad. We were still country, but. We weren't like cowboy country.
That don't make any sense, Todd. I don't know what kind of bullshit you're trying to sell here. You're either country, which is cowboyish, or you're not.
No, there's like
city.
There's like Randy
downtown hoodwink Houston. What?
Like Randy Moss should talk about that. Randy Moss was country, like West Virginia country, right? Like there's country, and then there's like cowboy country.
Yeah.
I was more or less. I grew up more or less poor country.
I see. Well, you remember that time when I was like doing this and that, and
when I shook my head instantly, because I will say this: I knew that was coming. He can't fool me anymore. But I will say it's an ongoing thing right now that when me and Watson will call each other up. And when they answer, go, hey, I don't have time to talk right now. And we'll hang up on the other person. And the other thing is we'll be like, hey, man, I got this great story I wanted to tell you, man. You can't, it's going to be unbelievable. And like, So here's what happened.